Hello and welcome along to this UCAS International podcast. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking all things clubs, societies and sport. It is the stuff away from your academic studies. We'll talk about what options are available to you in terms of various clubs and societies, what the benefits are to them as well, and also how you can join them. My name is Robbie James, and alongside me for this episode, delighted to say, all the way from Loughborough University, we've got Katie Friend, Regional Manager for Southeast Asia and Turkey. Welcome to you, Katie. And also returning to the UCAS International podcast, we've got Rispa Okello from University of Surrey. Rispa, you're back. You were on before.
Here. Yeah. It feels like home.
Does it actually?
Yeah,
Really?
it
This
does.
studio?
Yeah, like familiar faces and everyone like, oh wow, I'm back home. This is nice.
I feel it's a little bright to be an actual home, but
It is a bit
we
bright.
don't light it particularly cozily. But
But I mean,
yeah.
now that the daytime is getting shorter, I mean, at least this the bare minimum sunlight that I'm getting the whole day.
That's
So
we're getting our vitamin D fix. Just
yeah,
with these
even if
lights
it's
in general.
artificial, at least there's something. There's something
That's
there.
okay.
Yeah,
That's fine. Anyway, you last time you were on, you spoke so much about clubs and societies that we thought we've got to get you back for the one that was literally about clubs and societies. So welcome to you, Katie, as well.
you.
I know that you've done some stuff with UCAS in the past,
Yeah,
right? So
I
you've been in this studio before.
Yeah, I think this is my third time back down here, so
Okay.
feels like home for me as well.
Feels
And-
like a kid.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it doesn't feel like home to me, this studio, but I kind of get the point. I get the point.
Yeah.
Listen, lots to get into. I feel like this is going to be good fun because clubs and societies are just one of the most magnificent selling points, I think, to universities in the UK. Let's just quickly, for anyone that maybe doesn't know, though, and has heard the term clubs and societies, Katie, what actually are they? What do we mean when we're talking about that?
Yeah, so clubs and societies are something you can join, usually via the Students' Union within the university, and they are a way for you to do something different outside of your academic studies. Sometimes it can be related to the course, but it can also just be for fun. And usually students will join up to those during kind of Freshers' Week or Welcome Week through different sports bazaars and stuff like that as well. And it's just a really good way to enhance your kind of experience whilst you're at university. The students can join up to a variety of different things, play different sports, and just do something new. That's what I always say as well. Encourage students to take up something new that they've not done before.
Really exciting stuff, isn't it, Rispa? What are
Yeah.
you? Give us your clubs and societies. What are you part of in Surrey?
So currently, is that my stomach?
Is that your stomach?
It is
I don't
my
know if the
stomach.
mic picked that up, but
And
I heard that.
I hope it didn't. And I just had an English breakfast. So I'm wondering, why are you still hungry? So maybe, I don't know.
that's
Anyways,
okay.
we're gonna move on past that. And so currently I am just part of two societies. So I started a society actually, which is something I'm really interested in talking about.
Congratulations.
So I started the Eastern and Southern African Society, which is really good. So now I think I do know. It's been running for 2 years now. And so I've been 2-time president, which has been really amazing, and just kind of fostering that sense of community within the East African and the Southern Africans within Surrey has just been amazing. But I also do like to participate in the debate society and Afro-Caribbean, just kind of bits and pieces here and there. But it's just because it's in my final year. I remember in first year, I dived into anything and everything I could put my hands into.
What was the most rogue one you joined or saw?
Rogue. Wow.
I know that some places have like a Taylor Swift society. We've heard that on this podcast.
I don't
before.
think, I know we don't have that in Surrey. And even if we did, I don't think I would. I don't really consider myself a Swiftie. I think that's what
Okay.
they call themselves.
It's been lovely having you on the podcast.
But I know I dived into so many things. I mean, one of the few things that got me here was Stag Radio, which I did speak about the last episode you were here. So the Broadcasting Society. So that was amazing, and it had nothing to do with my course. So that was kind of like an anomaly. But I did so many things. I tried chess. I suck at chess. I don't even know why I went there. I tried to
But at
solve
least
a
you
Rubik's
found out.
Cube. Yeah.
You wouldn't have known without trying.
It's
it.
the experience that mattered.
Yes.
I enjoy. No, actually, I didn't enjoy it. I mean, checkmate in 3 moves. That was just a disappointment on my side. I lost gangster points from the moment I walked in, so I realized, you know what? Maybe chess is just not for me. I can do checkers and Uno and Monopoly, but just not. But Polo Society, I tried poker, suck at poker. I tried to solve a Rubik's Cube, absolutely can't. I was doing the 3x3, everyone is doing 10x10. I realized, you know what, this is another field that I cannot compete.
Yeah.
But then with time, I guess it's just the exposure, just diving into so many different things that I have never tried before made me realize, okay, so this is what I do like to do and this is what I don't like to do. And then I think about the idea of community, because when I think about societies, that's what it is. You're building a community where everyone there at least has something similar as, the base. Everyone just kind of relates to the same thing. So then it made me understand, well, what type of community do I want to bring to Surrey? So I'd realize, okay, if I dive in here, then yes, I'm able to relate to some people because they're international students, or because they have, this inquisitive mind that wants to know, how can I really, really solve this Rubik's Cube? Can I play this chess? But I
Sorry,
realized that's not what I want to
just
do.
to pause it, does anyone, we don't have a Rubik's Cube in the studio, do we?
Let's not embarrass.
If we do, I want immediately involved for all of our YouTube viewers. We'll work on that. Anyway.
Yeah.
But when we get you on a future episode, Rubik's Cube coming your way.
I hope maybe not, but we'll see
No,
how
there will
they go. But short story long, or long story short, it just made me realize that this is the type of community that I want to build in Surrey, and that's what incentivized me to go ahead and start a new society, despite how daunting it is. But it's been the best thing that I ever did on campus.
And I think to sort of dive straight in, that's such a good point that you make about the fact that you can create something that actually brings you a little, for international students, brings you a little closer to home, and you know, brings a little bit of your culture into your university campus, whatever it might be. Katie, you must see examples of that all the time. That, there are loads of societies and clubs that exist, but actually for international students, what an opportunity to set up a little bit of home where you are at uni.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a lot of international students at Loughborough, and we have individual groups. So like African Society, for example, Malaysian Society, Chinese Society, and they can join those and feel familiar with home. It's also for any students that are interested in those cultures, maybe UK students, they can join those as well and get an understanding of students that come from those countries. And they run lots of different events. For example, our Islamic Society as well, during Ramadan, they have iftar every single night on campus, and everyone can go and get involved, and it brings that sense of belonging.
Even people not part of the society.
Exactly,
Yeah.
And then it's just lovely, so people can kind of feel very much connected back home as well, and just get that experience here at the university in the UK as well.
I bet that was really nice for you, Rispa. When you came to the UK and set that up, I bet that must have warmed your heart, setting something up from home like that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, getting it to officially become a real thing was like, wow, I finally, this is heaven, I finally
How
made
did you
it.
do it? How did you set it up?
Well, so the process was long, if I'm being very honest. It took around a month or so. So there are a couple of steps that you do need to take. So of course, first you have to show the union that there is interest. So I had to get at least 10 signatures from students just being like, yeah, we support the society. We think that, it would be a good cause to the university. Then after that, I have to go plead my case in front of, I don't know who exactly it is from the students' union, but it's kind of people.
Someone turned up and you
higher
pleaded
up.
your case to them.
Yeah, so they were like, so why do you want to start this? I'm like, good morning, first of all. And then, how are you? I'm good. Good to meet you. And then, explain my case and just, just do inclusivity and diversity and all that we just kind of like to sing every single time. And they're like, yes, we approve. And then after that, I had to sit in a room with all the signatories from the different societies. So the signatories are your president, your vice president, and your treasurer from every single society. In Surrey, we currently have 130 plus clubs and societies. So I'm sitting and there are over 200-300 people, and I have to stand in front of them and explain to them exactly why I am trying to start this society and get the majority of them to approve. And then they did. But unfortunately, I lost track of time. So I forgot that I had the meeting. So I had to do it virtually on Teams. So I'm just sitting there, with the screen, and I cannot see the rest of the squad. And then when the facilitator kind of turned his screen for me to be able to see, everyone's like, wow, those are so many people. The fate of the society is on their hands. That is insane. But after everything was sorted out, I have to officially, elect the president and the vice and the treasurer. And then once that was done, it officially began. So there was an up and down. There's a time where, with the elections, we didn't get enough numbers. So I had to go through the whole process again. And I was like, why am I trying to do this? Why am I trying to do? Then I remember, I'm not just doing it for myself. There are people out there that need this community. So it's not, even if I lose hope for my own self, there are other people that are relying on me. So I am comfortable letting myself down, but I'm not comfortable letting them down. So I had to run with it. And now it's been amazing. We've grown it from 12 members to 100 plus members in the span of, we're in November, so let's say 10 months-ish.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're going to see those numbers thrive again.
You're thriving.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Can we have a round of applause for it?
Oh,
That's
thank you,
amazing
guys.
setting that up.
Thank you,
Well done.
thank you,
That's
thank you.
good. We really like that. To sort of to move away from setting a society up, Katie, to You mentioned there, Rispa. What was it? 120 something?
Yeah, 130 plus.
130
Yeah.
at one university. That's a lot of clubs and societies to try and work your way through. So, what advice do you give to students coming to the UK about how they can find out, or sort of filter through those 130 clubs?
So I would say the first thing they can do is before they actually come is go onto our websites, have a look. We'll usually have a societies list so they can find
University's website.
out university's website, and find out what societies are there. And then when they arrive on campus, pretty much all universities will have something like a welcome event, a fair, or a bazaar, or something like that, where they can join different clubs and societies. Most students, a bit like you, joined up to loads of different societies, and that's quite good, so you can start to get a feel for which ones you like, but probably not sustainable to keep membership of 20 plus societies, and then you'll start to naturally find out which ones you like. But those events are great, so you can go around, speak to people, find like-minded people, find different societies that you don't know about. I was looking through our societies today, and we've got a fighting robot society, which I think sounds amazing. And apparently students, they start to make and design and make robots, and then they fight each other.
Oh, the robots fight each other.
The robots fight each
It's
other.
not humans fighting the
No.
robots.
No. That sounds even more
Yeah,
interesting.
I'll be honest. No, I thought you said that, and I thought, I'll be honest, I'm not up for that. That's not my thing. But okay, I see. So
and
quite
the
right.
things that you probably didn't even know existed, for example, that one. But they also give you an opportunity to get skills that are somehow related to your degree as well, or maybe something you might be interested in outside. So that's got a lot of computer-aided design in it. So it's very much fun, but it's also got that background of kind of skill set that you'll get from it as well. And that's a real benefit of societies.
Would you maybe say then, so some advice to a student might be, maybe do a couple. Do one that, is slightly related to your degree, so you sort of add a few more skills onto your degree skill set, but then also do one which is completely different, but maybe you're learning some leadership skills or some captaincy skills, something like that.
Of course, yeah. And I think that's always a good thing because you want to step out of your comfort zone a little bit when you come to university, challenge yourself a little bit, find something new to do. There may be societies that you can't do in your home country, for example. If you come from somewhere where there's not as much countryside around, you may not be able to go hiking. So perhaps join the hiking society and get to see a bit of the UK, and you also get to meet friends that are like-minded as well. And then exactly the same thing as you just said about the kind of skill set. There's some skills that you may not be able to get from your academic study that you can actually get from joining the society. For example, you're talking about setting up the society, become the president, leadership skills, managing your time. We've got people that do marketing roles within the societies, and they get those kind of skill set, which can help them. It also helps you decide maybe what you want to do in the future as well. So it's really good for that extra experience that you can't get from your academic degree.
And a brilliant way to make pals as well, because you can join a lot of these societies as well as like a sociable member, can't you? So you don't even, even if I don't know, you don't want to play tennis, but you want to be part of the tennis society and watch, but you can join as a sociable member, and that's a nice thing to be a part of. And I bet, Rispa, it's really nice as a student as well, because the studying can be quite intense and quite full on. So to get something that is a release, that is in your calendar, it's happening every Tuesday night, and you can just take your mind off your studies. That must be nice.
Yeah, it is really nice, and I mean, I just wanted to pick up from one of your points in regards to, I guess, filtering out what societies to dive into. One thing you did mention is that exposure. I mean, after just checking the university websites, I know it's something that's across all the universities, and it's probably just worth mentioning, especially to any incoming students, about the Freshers Fair, which is it usually happens at the end of the Freshers Week, and it's just a really nice. It's an event where you get to see what societies and what clubs are there in the university. And I mean, I can speak for Surrey in the sense that it all happens in just one tent, and you're just kind of walking around, seeing what everyone is setting up, and you get to speak to them and just hear more about it. And you figure out, does it fit your timetable? Do you feel like I mean, just interacting with them, do you feel like this is an environment you want to dive into? Do you feel like this is a sport that you might want to take up? And you never really know. There's some sports that, like you said, that they're not available in your home country. Even if it's just the clubs, they're not available back at your home country. So you're like, oh wow, these are new things. Maybe I should try it out. And the good thing is, I know there's usually like a trial week, so you don't even have to, in a sense, incur any financial cost to kind of attend, especially for societies that do have a membership, or you have to kind of have paid sessions for you to attend. You can do like a whole free trial session and kind of dive into it. Yep. And the one thing that I did pick up, which also made
like
it
your
easier,
chess, and find out whether or not you like it.
Yeah. So the first semester, actually, the first few weeks, I was just trying to dive into anything that I saw online that is free session, and I do have the time, so let's dive into it, see whether we like it or not. And after the first 2-3 weeks, I realized, okay, these are the things that I do like, these are what I don't like. And I found it very hard in the beginning to kind of balance everything because, like you said, it's very hard to manage 20 plus memberships, and then you're trying to maintain your first class, and then you want a part-time job. So many things on your plate. You're just a girl. Take your time. So I realized the one quote that I've been sticking to, and that's the same thing I also give to younger students, is you can do everything, but you don't have to do everything at the same time. So you can kind of compartmentalize it, do something if it's every month or every semester. So for example, I picked up debate and chess and let's say I don't know, the African Society during the first semester. Second semester, I moved into broadcasting. I moved more into netball. So across the year, I've already maybe dived into like 6-7 societies that I'm very, intense. And then second year, I do another range. So by the time I'm done with my 3 years, when I zoom out of the bigger picture, I've dived into so many different things.
I think you might be the most rounded human I've ever met.
I try.
You mentioned broadcasting, chess, and netball all within about 5 seconds of each other there. Amazing. And I'm guessing as well, like your social circles that you now have, I bet loads of your pals must have come from those.
Most definitely, that is 100%. Even I mean, aside from just your close friends, most of my close friends did come from the East African Society. Just kind of having that familiarity, knowing that we're all from the same background, that was really nice. But in terms of the network that I've grown across the university, it's amazing. It's amazing to know that I kind of have people that I can rely on from different spaces, from all walks of life, doing so many different things. So knowing that there's that network, I have a safety net and it's wide for me because I decided to expose myself has been a blessing in disguise. One that I didn't realize up until I came into my final year, because now is when everything kind of takes up a higher, gear, and you're just trying to figure out so many things. So it's nice to have everyone else doing something different and you're able to get advice from so many different people. So it's been very beneficial, and I think I would recommend it to every student when they come into university.
And I guess because things are going to get busier throughout your years as well, that's why it's good to start early, get as many in, in the first year as you can. Just to touch on the sort of sports element as well, that is a huge part of UK university culture. And I mean, both of you are at universities that have amazing facilities and setups. For example, I know University of Surrey, that is used by one of the professional rugby teams, Harlequins. They use University of Surrey to train. Loughborough University, where you are, Katie, I know that multiple professional outfits use their facilities. England Cricket use their facilities, for example. So not only do the sports provide a nice place for you to make friends and have all those benefits we mentioned, but also, if you're serious about your sport, it's an amazing place to use their facilities, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So if you're interested in sport, it's a real great place to get involved. You can do sports trials. So if you're interested in playing competitively for the university, you can usually do those within the first week when you arrive. But you can also play just for fun as well. So we have sports teams within our halls of residences, or you can just go and just hire out the tennis court and play with your friends. It's a good way for mental health as well, to keep that going, and also just your physical well-being. At Loughborough in particular, we're part of BUCS. Most universities are. It's kind of a bit like a Premier League where you finish at different levels. We finish
the British Universities and Colleges Sport.
You
told me that. You told me that pre-recording.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't take any.
You remembered
that.
it though, so
Thank
that's
you.
fine. But yeah, we finished kind of top of that for a few years. But it's very competitive. Different people play, and universities generally have Wednesday afternoon free of lectures, so that students that are involved in sport can then participate in their sport and go off and play different matches against people at different universities across the UK. You'll have a dedicated training schedule as well around your studies if you're playing at an elite or performance level. And our aims as universities, particularly if we're very sport focused, is to get you up to the next level. So we'll have people that come in, they're good, but then we'll get them up to next level. Sometimes we have people that go off to Commonwealth Games, Olympics and stuff like that as well. So come back and actually do really, really well during their time. So again, it's something else that you can develop as part of your university life. The facilities are great as well. But like I say, sport is for all. So even if you just want to start swimming, we've got an amazing Olympic-sized 50-metre swimming pool on campus.
You're showing off.
I know we are. And we have Adam PT that trains there. So we have really good facilities, but anyone can use that. You don't have to be one of the elite athletes to go in the pool. It's open to everyone. So if you've never swum before, you can learn to swim for the first time. So I love that it's just for everyone. And it's great to watch sport as well. So if you don't want to play, but you like watching people play, there's obviously games all the time on campus. And there's a real buzz around it when we have different events. NFL academies on our campus. We have a sports stadium there as well. We've got the athletics track, as you mentioned, the cricket, British Triathlon's based there. So there's so many different things going on, and students can go and see those and support those events and see their friends participating as well, which is lovely.
The facilities across the UK at unis are incredible, and it's a really nice point actually as well that if you're part of a club or a sport, you get to then travel to away games and go and see all the other universities and other parts of the UK, which is a really nice benefit. Just to sort of finish this off, just quickly from an employability perspective as well. I bet that being part of clubs and societies, saying that you've set up your own society, you've captained a team, whatever that might be, that's got to be something that looks good if you're trying to get a job post uni, right?
Yeah, of course. I know it does look good to employers, and I mean, at the time, you don't even realize that what you are doing is enhancing employability skills. You think you're just doing this for fun and it's for enjoyment.
That's
and
good.
You're
It's
doing it with
authentic
friends.
then, isn't it?
It's so real and raw and authentic. But then once you actually do present yourself, you actually do realize, well, there's a lot. If you look at the person that you were in the beginning when you started and the person that you've become now, there's a lot of growth that has happened along the way. You've learned how to be more resilient. You've learned how to make executive decisions, even though it's going to upset some people. You've learned what it means to actually be a motivator to the team when everyone's the spirits are down. There's so many skills that you kind of have to incorporate knowingly or unknowingly that end up being transferable in the workspace, and it's just nice to kind of put yourself out there, especially with any leadership opportunity that is there, which is why I really like how in so many of these societies you have the exec team, the committee that you're able to apply, and you go through the whole process where people elect you, and if they do elect you, then you're part of the team that is deciding the fate of the society for
You
the
get a
next
badge.
year. No, it depends on the society. So I mean, like the clubs, how some of them do get the sporting gear. Different societies, depending on their financial budget, could either decide to get themselves some merchandise. Some might decide to get others. So, for example, in our society, everyone has a jersey or a flag. So whenever we do kind of have our events, usually I'll just be there with my Kenyan flag and someone there's with the
Nice.
Botswanan flag, so you can just tell, okay, there's something happening here that is African related. Or I mean, Kenyans, you always just have a bracelet. I'll just kind of show it over here.
Oh, I like
So
that.
it just makes it easier to identify. So that's kind of, I guess, I would just say that's for our society. For others, it's very different. So it kind of depends on what they prefer and across the year. But like you said, the employability skills are there 100%, which is why it's just nice for you to get on societies as fast as you possibly can. Even if you're just starting off as a member, you never realize you might just gain the confidence sooner rather than later. And then you might decide, you know what, maybe I want to go for a smaller role like social sec. Just, putting up some stuff on Instagram. Next thing you know, maybe you're picking up a presidential role. So there's a lot of growth that you kind of see happening when you zoom out of the bigger picture. But, in reality, just like, okay, this is just me feeling like I'm getting more confident to pick up another role. Yeah.
How do I get a bracelet?
How do you get a bracelet? Come to Kenya.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Yes, obviously. Of course I'll come to Kenya.
Yeah.
Do anything for a bracelet. I'll come to Kenya. Great. Right, let's finish it off then. Katie, I would like your one piece of advice you'd give to an international student surrounding club societies and sports.
I think my main piece of advice would be to try something new. Just go out of your comfort zone, try something completely different that you've not done before, because it'll just give you a lot more experience in something new, something interesting, enhance your experience at university. You'll be able to meet new people. That would definitely be the main thing I would say. And take your time, go around the clubs and societies, have a look at the fair, find out what's there on offer, and just try something new and different.
Rispa, same question to you.
I think she said exactly what I wanted to say, so I was just like, what other different thing can I
You can do
put
a
on the
copy and
table?
paste if you want.
I mean, the only thing I can say is topping off on that, and it's just highlighting the fact that sometimes people are scared to do things by themselves, and that's something that we're notion that we need to eradicate, especially after you've decided that you've already had your close friends. It's different when you've first joined in and you're trying to dive into anything and everything because you want to make friends and build that connection. But once you've established the connection and then you want to dive into something different by yourself, it can become very tricky. So it kind of, my advice just be to release that mindset and just try anything and everything as if you're doing it by yourself for the very first time. And like she said, dive into as much as you possibly can.
Dive into it. You
Yeah.
might not like chess, but give it a go and
Give
find
it a
out
go.
anyway. You just never
And a
know.
Rubik's Cube as well. You'll
And a
never
Rubik's
know.
Cube. Oh yeah, we'll get that sorted for next time you're on the podcast. Don't you worry, that Rubik's Cube will be on that table waiting for you. Right, good stuff. Thank you very, very much to both of you. Brilliant. Rispa, thank you so much, as always, for being on the podcast. And Katie, first time podcaster. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Lovely to have you on. Good stuff. Thank you very much to you both. Don't forget, lots of resources available via ucas.com/international. There are a whole host of other topics covered as well via the UCAS International podcast. You can, of course, get them anywhere you get your podcasts or on YouTube. Just make sure that you are subscribed. Like us, share us anywhere you can as well. And we'll speak soon. So that trip to Kenya, I'm thinking next week, something
Same
like that.
time next week?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.